My speech today is over why not to use drugs. I'm going to give you a couple quick facts about drugs and teenagers. 11.3 million teenagers have tried drugs. 8.5 million teenagers have tried drugs in the last year, which is 37% of the teenagers. And 5.4 million have tried drugs in the last month, which is 1 out of every 4 teenagers trying drugs. One day I lost somebody very close to me. I found out my uncle was getting sentenced to 20 years in prison for drugs that he did 5 years in the past. That the drug dealer got busted and turned him in, and he was in rehab turning his life around and doing really good when he got arrested. And the drug dealer got turned in and told his name, and he got arrested for drugs too. That happened 5 years. So drugs can come up to you whenever, and just because you did them in the past doesn't mean you can't get caught for them. And there's 5 reasons why teenagers would want to try drugs. Peer pressure and thinking they're cool and wanting to impress their friends, and just thinking they're as what's to do to fit in with everybody and to be like the cool kids, be one of the popular kids because they think they got to do drugs. Number 2 is socializing, talking about drugs with your friends, just the idea of experimenting with it. And number 3 is hiding from pain. You might be hurting, something might be going on at your house, and you do drugs to hide it and cover it up, and that's another reason. 4 is escape from the real world. I mean, things might be going on too hard, you think you can't handle it, and you think drugs is your way out, your way to relax, your way to calm down and do it. Number 5 is just the thrill of trying a drug, just seeing what it'll do to you, seeing if you like it, seeing if it's fun, hanging out with your friends. There's 4 reasons why you shouldn't do drugs. The first is brain damage. Anytime you do a drug, you're going to do some kind of brain damage. I mean, every year millions of teens either die or are mentally affected for the rest of their life from doing drugs or anything. Just one time can kill you. Number 2 is addictions. Drugs affect people in many different ways, which not all the people, I mean, just because your friend's not addicted the first time he does it doesn't mean you won't get addicted. Sometimes it starts off by doing it one time, then occasionally you're doing it, and then the next thing you know, you're doing it all the time. Drugs are no fun. And meth, you could be addicted to meth the first time you do it, and it kills brain cells no matter if you do it once or 100 times. I mean, every time it kills brain cells. Another reason is lose of freedom and family. I mean, you might be put in jail or in prison, get set visitations with your kids or anybody. You can get set visitations with your family, and you only get to see them at a certain time, at a certain day, and you only get to do a certain amount of things with your family. And then how to prevent becoming a victim. You don't have to try drugs. You can stand up to the people that are trying to give you drugs and tell them no, you don't have to do it. Another reason is don't fall into peer pressure. If somebody's like, here, take a hit off of this, it's not worth it. You don't understand what you can lose from just trying it that one time. I mean, you choose friends who love you and who don't do that kind of stuff, and have a good people you hang out with that will not try to tempt you to do anything you don't want to do. So overall, just drugs are really bad, and you shouldn't even try them. You could lose anything. I would never do a drug because I would chance of losing college scholarships. I mean, my son, my family. I wouldn't want to have to miss out on my son's life and be locked in prison because of something I wanted to try one time. And I could lose everything, and it's not worth the fun you have out of doing it. Is not worth what you can lose in the long run. You could lose your life. You only get to live once, and you might as well live it as fullest and the best you can, and drugs is not the way to do it. drugs can just make you have a horrible life. They can put you in poverty. You could be, you could be one of the best persons in the world and have the most money in the world, like my uncle did. He had a ton of money, but he lost it all due to drugs. He lost his wife, he lost his kids, he lost his house, he lost his cars, he lost everything just due to a little bit of marijuana, a little bit of weed, and all kinds of drugs. But the overall deal is drugs, you can lose more than what you gain from doing drugs.